Welcome back everyone to Real Born Flips. I'm Kevin, your host, and we made it through November. We made it to retirement day. So thank you for following along as we did this long journey to get here, to get to this point. And today we have a lot of sales in the month of November to talk about. We're going to run down the whole list. We're going to talk about why I bought the thing in the first place, what I sold it for, what I paid for it, and a little bit of nonsense included in all that. So thank you for joining me today. Thank you for following along if you've been with us for a while. The kind of the goal of this channel is to provide as much value as we can back to you, and then hopefully you send a little bit of value our way by liking, subscribing, watching the videos, sending comments, sharing the videos with other people. So thank you for doing that. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do that. That really helps me. And please send comments. I like to interact with people and find out what they thought of the videos, or if they have something to share related to the video. So thank you again for that. In a minute, we're going to jump over there, run through these sales, and then we'll come back and end the video with a little more nonsense. But before we do that, we know why you're here. We know you're not here for all that nonsense.
So let me get this straight. You're going to drink something on camera and you hope it's going to be something you enjoy, and then people want to know what it is?
You're here simply to find out what I'm enjoying. And today what I'm enjoying is some Shine water. And this is the watermelon blackberry. So I'm excited to try this out. I've already had a cup of coffee this morning, so I don't need any more caffeine. And this is just water. So water with a little vitamin D, I guess, and no sugar. So excited to try this. Obviously this is not going to be a shake-up. Let me read, see what we got here. We got some electrolytes, we got some antioxidants. Who doesn't need that? And vitamin D and B12. So I think I'll remember this after I drink it. So let's go ahead and try this. Okay, it doesn't spray in my face. It's non-carbonated. Here we go. It has a great flavor to it. So the blackberry watermelon flavor, excellent combination. You should try this. I already feel the shine of this enhanced nutrients. Okay, we're going to jump over there, run through these, and then meet me back over here as soon as that's over.
First up is this great set of Pirates of the Caribbean figures. I can't say great because I paid a lot for this set, and I did get my asking price of $40. When I say 40, my price is actually $39.88, but for convenience, I'll just round it up. I paid too much for this set, but it took a while to sell. I have a hard time not buying stuff like this, but I need to learn to stay away from loose sets of these kinds of figures. They just take too long to sell and just don't bring enough for the hassle. Here's another one of my what I term money making machines. Just parts of bread makers, parts of juicers, parts cordless phones, that kind of stuff. It just you get them really cheap, and they sell and make good profit. I usually pay, or I don't pay more than $2 for a bread machine. I really only grab them when I can find them on discount day. Similar for juicers or blenders or that kind of stuff. And this was a Breadman bread machine, and got my asking price of $25. I really started looking at some older wooden tennis rackets after my daughter found one at an estate sale for $5, and we turned and sold that one for I believe $100. It took a long time because they're really hard to comp, because it's very difficult to identify them correctly. But I look for the ones that have a unique the unique shaping of the wood at the head of the racket. And this one was like that. I took an offer at $85. I got this one on discount at Goodwill for $2. This Canon camcorder was part of a Facebook Marketplace purchase that was really fantastic. I had been looking for some camera gear when I started this YouTube channel, and I just happened to see a Facebook post for some video equipment, and this was about an hour away, and it was about 6 o'clock at night. And so I thought, well, surely all this stuff is gone by now. But I reached out to the seller, and he said, yeah, I got it. I'm headed to the storage unit right now, so if you want to meet me. So I told him how long I was going to be. So thankfully, he did kind of hold stuff for me. There wasn't anyone else there looking, but I couldn't believe it because they'd already had a few. The listing had been out there for a while. He just reposted it. I got some great stuff. I got this camcorder. I got a Nikon digital SLR camera, really nice setup. I got a gimbal, really nice, gimbal for your phone. Just a ton of GoPro stuff, GoPro cameras, GoPro accessories. Got a bunch of movies, DVD, Blu-ray movies, for so cheap. I paid $100 for everything, and I thought I was going to keep this camcorder, but it decided to go ahead and list it, and it sold relatively quickly for my asking price of $329. Here's a great game. It's one of the kind of a couples therapy type games. I've seen some videos from John Gottman and some books and things from him, and I thought this was pretty unique. And thought about keeping it, but after looking at the game, realized my wife and I are not going to play this game. And so I took an offer at $20. I think I paid $5 for it. It was not new, but in very new condition. So hopefully whoever bought it got their use out of it. Here's another thing to stay away from. Don't buy these big Fisher-Price toy sets. This one did not have any accessories. I only paid $5 for it, and I thought I would get quite a bit more. I did get some on the shipping side of this sale, but man, it's the stuff you stay away from unless it comes with a ton of accessories. Just stay away from this stuff. I did get my asking price of $25. Here's a great game. I had never seen this game before, and when it came out, I pulled it off the shelf at Goodwill. And really, I only paid about $6 for it. I was surprised that they had marked this one so cheaply, because normally they mark stuff up, especially when the bigger, well-known type of games. And I felt like I was going to get this sold. It took a little while, and I did get my asking price of $70. So I think this was the second of the two Ninja Ultima system pieces that I got at a garage sale. This was one of those times where you see something at a garage sale that's not kind of up on the table and you ask about it. And in this case, it was a whole setup of Ninja stuff. And the lady said that she didn't think the motor worked, but she only wanted $5 for everything. I sold the large pitcher previously. Here's the smaller bowl pitcher. I have some more accessories listed now. But for $5, I think I'm probably... with the large pitcher, I'm probably $70 in the black already. Here's a set of 3 books. I don't sell a lot of paperback books, but someone special bought these, and they got a great deal. This cassette recorder was in a box. You heard me talk about this previously. In a box that just had a bunch of really nice vintage kind of shortwave radios type stuff that I just found. I bought it at an estate sale, and somehow it got boxed up and lost. So I pulled everything out, and this was the very last thing to sell. And I got my asking price of $60. I think I paid about $20 for this. So I paid up for a lot of that gear, but I sold everything now and made great profits on it. Here's the very first globe that it's the second globe I've actually sold, but this was the first, I guess I should say, the first large globe that I've sold. For some reason, I thought that I would sell these things. I've got a bunch of the 12-inch globes, and I just have not sold anything. This is a large one, really kind of cool looking. I paid $10 at Goodwill and got my asking of $40. Very difficult to ship. I had to take it all apart just to get it in my 19 by 19 by 18 box, just because of the size. Here's another Yamaha remote control. I get these relatively cheaply, And for some reason, the Yamahas sell pretty well. I took an offer at 20, but I would have only paid a couple of dollars for this. And the receiver remotes for Yamaha seem to do well. They must not have replacement remotes, or the replacement remotes are just terrible. This is about my limit. If I can't get at least $20 for a remote, I'm not interested in looking at it. Here's a red background alert for you people that have been around. You know what that means? That means this is a very old listing for me, back when I used to use my son's baby blanket as the background. I shifted to white just to accommodate Google Lens and Google image search. But this is a cool vintage Hello Kitty wallet. My wife and I went to a sale that the company that we have our storage units at, they have, I think, 5 locations in the area. And they used to do this. They didn't do one last year, and I'm a little disappointed, but they would set up basically a garage sale at the storage unit complex. And so people that wanted to sell stuff out of their storage unit had the opportunity to do that, and they gave them some kind of a Benny. I forget what they gave them, maybe $25 off for the month or something. But it was a great experience. We went to several of these, and I just got some great stuff. And this was one of the things I got from a lady who sold off all of her vintage Hello Kitty stuff from her childhood. I got a bunch of it, and I think this was the last of the Hello Kitty that I had. I thought this Disney Lion King game would have really been a big seller. We bought this in Arizona on a trip to Arizona. We went to, for those of you that don't live in Arizona or haven't been to Arizona, certain locations in Arizona, there's like a Goodwill on every corner. And we were there. We were only there for a day visiting family, and I went to about 8 Goodwills and a couple of estate sales. And this was one of the items I got. Only paid $5 for it. I thought I was going to get like $30 for it. I finally got rid of it for 10, and was happy to do that. Okay, this is an example of why you need to look at things on the shelf at Goodwill. I actually saw this a couple of days before I actually bought it. It just looks like a little pocket radio, no big deal. I noticed it said Sangean, and so I did pick it up. And what is valuable about this radio is it is an HD radio, so a portable pocket HD radio, which is not easy to find. And I paid $6 for it. It sold relatively quickly for my asking of $60, so it's my times 10, which is my desired amount when I buy stuff for resale. Here's another great example of why estate sale companies probably should just go out of business. I found a local. It was going to be a relatively short distance for me to drive to go to this estate sale. And I could see in the photos there were several the kinds of cameras I look for. There was some Canon PhotoShot compact digital cameras. And so I was really hoping to get in there early and get those cameras. And the cameras that I could sell for about $100, they had them listed at $80. And so I was kind of disappointed because, what I went there for was so priced up. And that company, I have not been to very many of their sales, but what I realized is they just price everything up super high the first day, and then they go like 50% off and then 75% off the next day. So they really don't, they're really not looking for resellers. They're looking for just people to buy stuff. And so I was determined to find something, and in the corner of the living room was this box, this Toshiba 9-inch TV DVD, $30. It was basically brand new in the box. I could not believe the condition of this thing. Beautiful in the box, all the packaging, all the paperwork, everything. And I listed it at $400, and I got my price relatively quickly. A couple of lowball offers, and then someone just came in and said, I'll pay the $400. That is perfect. That's the kind of stuff I like to get. That's why my channel is called Real Boring Flips, because even estate sale companies think these things are not valuable, and they price up other things, and they leave prices low on stuff like this. This farming game, this one was sealed, and I bought a bunch of games all at once. I threw this one in the stack at Goodwill, thinking this would sell I thought I would probably get $40 to $50 for it. I took an offer at $30. I have another one of these that's not sealed. I have little hope of getting a good return on it. For some reason, sometimes you find comps and they must just be outliers. And so really do your homework before you're buying too much of this kind of stuff. This is an example of how to make as much maximum profit as you can when you buy stuff. These little Bandai, I don't know what you call them, coins or medallions, these were in a bag with another toy that I sold separately for good money. I only paid, I think it was $12 for the whole set. It was fine to take $20 on this just to get rid of it, but that put me in the black for the whole thing. The little watch that I sold was sold for much higher than that. So really maximizing your stuff by splitting things up where you can. This OGO backpack, really nice backpack. I thought I would have gotten more. I just finally got an offer that was good enough for me, $30, and I only paid $10 for it. It was one of those backpacks that I thought I would just keep because it was so nice, but I don't need a backpack because I'm retired. Here's a great example of why you look through things, books especially, at estate sales. Most estate sales are just going to flat price books. Maybe $1 for hardback books, 50 cents for paperback books, or something like that. In this case, I paid $1 for this. Basically, it was a yearbook, kind of like a yearbook for this Vietnam War era base in Vietnam. And I thought someone might want it. It was really nice condition. It had a little bit of writing in it, but it didn't seem to affect anyone. The buyer was really happy to get it, and I got my asking price of $70. Okay, these books are part of a multiple item buy at my local free donation rummage sale that I talk about quite often. This was a second trip in find. So there was these books, there was a set of controllers and a power supply. And we've made some great money on this stuff. I took an offer for $40 for these books, and I only had a few dollars into the whole set. This Duck Hunter game, I think I got it last year at Goodwill. It took forever to sell. It was brand new in the box. I think this one also had a little piece of gift wrap paper taped to it, which is my favorite thing to find. I paid $10 for it, and I did get my asking of $50. So you've heard me complain about buying Wi-Fi routers loose, not in the box, and how I've shifted away from looking at those, especially these Orbeez, because a lot of these Orbeez are locked. Like if you might get them from your cable company, and then somehow they lock them so you can't use them elsewhere. I've had a few like that have really been a hassle for me, so I stopped buying them. I bought this one because I noticed that it was not just a Wi-Fi router, it was a cable modem Wi-Fi router. That is a much better deal to be looking for. And so I do kind of scan through that, in my Goodwill, I look through that stuff looking for cable modem routers. And this was a great buy. I think I paid less than $10 for this one, and I took an offer at $70, and it sold pretty quickly. I was happy to get a quick turn. I think in less than a day, I bought and sold this. This was one of the very first things I bought when I started buying things to resell, and this was back in the pandemic days. I actually got this it was a very large pickup. I bought a lot of stuff. I think I filled my entire truck up. I got 2 Sony Aibo dogs at that estate sale that I sold early on. I kind of wish I still had them. They were so cool, but I needed to turn those. And this microwave, I bought it specifically to resell, and they were you were getting about $100 for these things at the time, and then I just never sold it. And then we moved. It got lost in a pile of stuff. I recently found it again and listed it and sold it relatively quickly. I actually sold it twice. Someone bought it and then wanted to not buy it. And so I already had it packed up. It was ready to go. I just relisted it and sold quickly after that for my asking price of $270. I think I had $6 into this item from that estate sale. The reason these are desirable is they're very small microwaves. And I think a lot of times people in college dorm rooms would get these, or I think the person that ended up buying this had a boat. And so this was going to be just perfect for their boat. But keep your eye out for tiny microwaves. This was a great find. Here's another mouse. I sold one of these last month, these trackball mice. I kind of don't even really look, well, I do look at them, but I don't always buy them. I used to just automatic buy, but I'm just not getting the money for them anymore. So I took an offer at $17. I think I had $6 into this one. And Balderdash, I don't even remember where I got this game, but I had it for a long time, listed for a long time, a sealed new box, and got my asking price of $15. I don't remember what I had into it, but I'm sure I had more than a couple of dollars into it. Don't buy this stuff. Here's another TI-84. I pretty much just buy these and list them at $44.88, and they sell immediately. I do have one listed right now that is in mint condition that I have a price a little higher. It hasn't sold yet, but that one I think is in such nice condition. I'm going to ask a little more for it. Here's a great movie. When I'm looking at movies, I look for sealed ones just to see what they are. This was an Eric Clapton kind of concert movie. I had paid $2 for it. I took an offer of $17. Sold very fast. Very happy with that kind of flip. Here's something that just caught my eye at Goodwill. Didn't really know I knew what it was. I didn't know what would be just special about it. Was able to Google image search and find out what it was, but it's basically a little unit that you would keep your flour and sugar and coffee in, and kind of cool looking. Had a little copper look to it. Had some patina on it. And someone eventually found it and made me an offer at $27. I paid $6 for it, and was happy to see it go because it's just bulky. Okay, so this was the first of two, but I got two sealed Nerf guns, vintage Nerf guns at Goodwill a few months ago. And they were on the shelf, so other resellers had looked at them and just passed them by. So I was surprised because I paid, I think, $12 for each of them. And this was the higher priced one, sold at my list price of $100. And this was one of those ones, if you've been reselling for a while, this happens to you on eBay every so often. Someone buys it and then messages you and says, hey, can you send it to my other address? I didn't realize it was incorrect. And so I have to tell them, no, I can't do that, but I will let you buy it again. And so I didn't think, I wasn't sure on this person if they were trying to scam me or they had an honest mistake. So I did relist it and they did buy it. So that was good. Here's some more money printing machine items. This was what appeared to be a brand new Cuisinart bowl. I just got the bowl. There was no Cuisinart machine at the free rummage sale, but I saw this, grabbed it immediately. I took it apart. I think I made four different listings out of it. Because I had the bowl, the work in this listing, which was the bowl and the work bowl. I had the lid, and then I had two parts of the pusher. I probably made over $100 for all the part pieces together, and basically had $1, maybe $2 is what I paid for it. Money printing machines. Here's another piece of a juicer. This was not the normal juicer for me. This was a Juice Man. I hardly ever find those. And it didn't break down into very many parts. I think this is the only thing I sold off of it for $10. I paid $2 for it. I think I may have sold the blade for this one. So as long as you sell at least a few things, it's worth it. Here's a bag of toys that I found, and if I can identify what they are, and if it feels like I can get something for them, it's worth the $5 or $6 you end up paying for a bag at Goodwill. I got $25, which was my asking price. That's probably right on the fringe of what I want to deal with. Okay, this is a great example of why you look at any vintage calculator. This was not HP, which would have been a great thing to find, But this was still a Texas Instruments vintage calculator in the box, brand new. And I was shocked to see the value on these. I listed mine at $200 and I got a purchase at $200. This was a person, this was a international sale, and the buyer got it and they were super happy with it. I could not believe that, I paid $10 for this at Goodwill and got $200 for it. Great flip. You heard me talk about that Fisher-Price castle earlier. This was a bunch of Dora the Explorer toys, and it turned out they weren't even like all the same. Like some of the figures were big figures from a different set. I just put it all together. This all came in a tote that I paid $2 for, and I'm using the tote for something else. I just put all this stuff together, put a asking price of $60, and I got that asking price and got that shipped off, and my buyer was happy with it. This was a great find. People pass this stuff up all the time. This was another real boring flip. People just don't look at stuff like this. But this was a boxed cassette set of Lord of the Rings. This is a dramatized audio book series. My kids grew up listening to this on, I think I had it on CD, and I made duplicates of the CDs so they could kind of handle them without touching the originals. But this was a really nice set. You could tell it had probably never been listened to. Came in the nice box. Paid a couple of dollars for it. I got my asking of $40. I do kind of dig through this section in Goodwill. They'll have like cameras or video game stuff or just weird connectors and cables. And I saw this, and it seemed like it was part of my Venn diagram of heavy, well-built, and cool. And so I did buy it. I paid the $7 for it and did just some limited testing, power on testing, that kind of stuff, and listed it and sold it quickly and got my asking price of $60. So happy for that. You don't always see this stuff, and that's why I look through boxes when I'm at Goodwill. There's just a white box on the shelf, but inside was a brand new replacement pitcher for a Mr. Coffee iced tea maker. And there's a bunch of different versions of the Mr. Coffee iced tea maker, and I buy the pitchers whenever I can get them because I usually get them for a few dollars. And then occasionally I'll get the iced tea maker when they put those on discount at $2. So I put those sets together. In this case, this was a brand new pitcher with the kind of the top that you put the tea in, and then the pouring lid after you've made your tea. And so I paid less than $10 for this and got my asking of $40. So that was great. This is a cool chess set, a Star Wars chess set. I paid $10 for it. It looked really nice. It was actually sealed. Really nice. I got my asking of $45, and my buyer was super happy with it. This is a game that I couldn't comp. I couldn't find anything on it, but I felt like it was such a cool game that it was worth paying the $10 for. And boy, I'm glad I did, because I did find it. I found the company that made it, and I found that you could still buy it for $125 from them. And so I got, in brand new condition, I got $100 for this game. Okay, if you're a reseller, if you're getting into reselling, do not believe that you're going to find a Disney VHS tape worth $10,000. You're not. Those comps are money laundering of some sort. You're not going to get that. So don't think that. I've made some okay money on sealed Disney VHS, and there are a few some of those cancel cultured ones that are desirable. But in the scheme of things, don't buy Disney movies to resell thinking that you're going to make thousands of dollars. I just had a bunch of these, and so I put them together and listed them, sold them for $10 for 6 Disney movies. That's the kind of money you're going to be getting for these. Okay, recently I bought a whole lot of spiritual, mystical books, and this was one of them. I think this might be the first one that I sold. But this was a Arthur Waite, which if you've ever bought tarot cards, you'll find Arthur Waite tarot cards. This was from 1969, so I was born in 1969. This was the first edition book, and I think I paid $100 for the whole lot of books, and so I've got a bunch more to go. But this gets me halfway to black on these books. Got my asking price of $50. And the last item from the month of November was this sealed Star Wars Trivial Pursuit game, pulled right off the shelf at Goodwill for $6. I took an offer at $50. I think I was trying to get $60 for this, so I was happy to get $50. But you know, I pay attention, especially sealed board games. This didn't look like anything, and but for some reason, some of these games just have great value, and so I do my best to comp those things and get them when I can get them cheap.
And we're back. So excellent month. The kind of ending my full-time employment month. So it'll be nice to compare this to December. Now December obviously will be a little different usually because that's usually my best month of the year. But this was a good month. This was 46 sales and 43.57 gross. So my last few months have been right in this ballpark, which is where I wanted it to be while I was still working full time. It's a, you know, the 1 to 2 sales per day, and that with my time allowed or the time I had available, that was good. I could manage shipping things out and still do some thrifting and actually enjoy some life. So excited to see what changes for us in the coming months. And I'm planning to hit the ground running for December. So, but this kind of time, or this is where I wanted to be. Where I want to go, I want to improve this by about 50%. So I'd like to do 2 to 3 sales a day and about 7,000 a month. So we'll see what it takes to get there. Still managing the massive amount of inventory we already have. So my thrifting actually will come down quite a bit because I will be focused more on what we already have. So thank you again for joining, and thank you for subscribing. If you haven't, please do that. That really helps. And please send comments like that, share the videos, and like the videos as well. So thank you again. And as I always say, join me again next time. And I'm going to take some more of this. That B12 is making me remember everything. Yummy. Who knew watermelon and blackberry would be a good combo? Nice.
That's all of the stuff we sold this month at RBF. The show is over.